Breakdown. To separate a complex structure into its individual components. Synonym for breakdown. Analyze, disassemble, decompose, unravel, deconstruct, dismantle. The surgeon carefully broke down the complex procedure into smaller steps for the medical students to understand. The anatomist broke down the skeletal system into its various bones. During the anatomy class, the instructor demonstrated how to break down the structure of the human heart. Cut open. To make an incision into the body for surgical or examination purposes. Synonym for cut open. Incise, slice, split, sever, slit, dissect. The surgeon cut open the abdomen to access the internal organs. The surgeon needed to cut open the patient's abdomen to perform the necessary surgical procedure. After the accident, the paramedics had to cut open the victim's clothing to assess the extent of the injuries. Graft on. To surgically attach tissue or skin from one part of the body to another. Synonym for graft on. Attach, implant, transplant, affix, join, embed. They discussed the possibility of grafting on new branches to the fruit trees to increase yield. To repair the damaged tissue, the surgeon decided to graft on healthy skin from the patient's thigh. The surgeon grafted on skin from the patient's thigh to cover the burn wounds. Leibade. To expose or reveal something, often referring to anatomical structures. Synonym for leibade. Expose, reveal, uncover, disclose, unveil, strip. The dissection laid bare the muscles underneath the skin. The autopsy laid bare the extent of the victim's injuries, providing crucial evidence for the investigation. The archaeological excavation laid bare the ancient city's foundations, revealing its historical significance. Piece together. To assemble or reconstruct something, often used in the context of understanding anatomy. Synonym for piece together. Reconstruct, assemble, compile, patch together, put together, build. Forensic experts worked diligently to piece together the remains found at the crime scene. By studying various cadavers, scientists pieced together the anatomy of ancient humans. Using archaeological evidence, historians pieced together the story of the ancient civilization. Stitch up. To close a wound or incision using stitches. Synonym for stitch up. Suture, close, mend, seal, sew up, fasten. After removing the tumor, the surgeon carefully stitched up the incision to promote healing. After the surgery, the doctor stitched up the patient's leg. The veterinarian stitched up the dog's wound after the accident. Probe into. To examine or investigate something deeply or thoroughly, often referring to anatomical structures. Synonym for probe into. Investigate, examine, explore, delve into, research, scrutinize. The doctor probed into the wound to assess the extent of the injury. Scientists probed into the structure of the protein to understand its function better. The investigators decided to probe into the circumstances surrounding the suspicious death. Section off. To divide or separate an area, often in the context of dissecting anatomy. Synonym for section off. Divide, partition, separate segment, block off, quarantine. The medical team sectioned off the operating room to maintain a sterile environment during surgery. The anatomist sectioned off the brain to study its different regions. The construction workers sectioned off the hazardous area to ensure the safety of pedestrians. Open up. To create an opening or expose something, often referring to anatomical structures. Synonym for open up. Uncover, reveal, expose, unlock, disclose, lay open. The surgeon opened up the chest cavity to perform heart surgery. The surgeon used a scalpel to carefully open up the patient's chest cavity for the heart surgery. The archaeologists discovered a hidden chamber when they opened up the sealed tomb. Split apart. To separate or divide into two or more parts. Synonym for split apart. Divide, separate, dissect, break apart, sever, tear asunder. Over time, the continuous exposure to extreme temperatures caused the rock to split apart. The force of the impact split apart the bones in the leg. The earthquake caused the ground to split apart, creating deep fissures in the landscape. Expose to uncover or reveal something to a particular substance or condition, often used in medical contexts. Synonym for expose to subject to, uncover to, introduce to, present to, submit to, lay open to. The skin was exposed to sunlight, causing it to tan. The patient was exposed to radiation during cancer treatment. The patient was exposed to radiation during the cancer treatment to target the tumor cells. Chip away at. To gradually remove or reduce something, often used metaphorically. Synonym for chip away at. Gradually remove, erode, wear down, whittle away, reduce, diminish. Despite setbacks, the researchers continued to chip away at the problem until they found a solution. Over time, erosion chipped away at the coastline, reshaping the shoreline. High cholesterol can chip away at the walls of the arteries. Sever off. To cut off completely, often referring to a body part or structure. Synonym for sever off. Cut off, remove, detach, amputate, disconnect, divide off. Due to severe infection, the doctor had to sever off the damaged finger to prevent further complications. The storm severed off power lines, leaving the town without electricity for days. The injury severed off the tip of his finger. Put back together. To reassemble or reconstruct something that has been disassembled. Synonym for put back together. Reassemble, restore, piece together, fix, mend, reconstruct. After dismantling the engine, the mechanic put it back together with new parts. After the accident, surgeons put back together the shattered bones in her leg. The archaeologists carefully put back together the shattered pieces of the ancient pottery. Dig into. To delve deeply into a subject or topic, often used in the context of anatomical study. Synonym for dig into. Investigate, explore, delve into, examine, research, probe. Medical students dug into the anatomy textbook to prepare for the exam. The medical students were eager to dig into the intricacies of human anatomy during their dissection lab. Researchers decided to dig into the genetic factors contributing to the rare disease. Shut off. To close or block a passage or flow, often referring to bodily functions. Synonym for shut off. Close, block, seal, turn off, stop, halt. The doctor advised the patient to shut off electronic devices before bedtime to improve sleep quality. A malfunction in the heart valve shut off blood flow to the rest of the body. The body automatically shuts off blood flow to non-essential organs during times of extreme stress. Attach to. To connect or join one structure to another. Synonym for attach to. Connect to, join to, affix to, fasten to, link to, secure to. The surgeon carefully attached the donor organ to the recipient's blood vessels during the transplant surgery. The ligaments attach to the bones, providing stability to the joints. Ligaments attach to bones to provide stability to the joints. Carve out. To remove material by cutting. Synonym for carve out. Remove, excavate, cut away, create, form, sculpt. The surgeon used precise tools to carve out the tumor from the patient's brain. With skilled precision, the sculptor carved out intricate details from the marble block. Surgeons carved out a tumor from the patient's brain. Peel away. To remove or separate layers, often referring to tissues or membranes. Synonym for peel away. Remove, strip off, separate, detach, uncover, unpeel. During the surgery, the surgeon peeled away the layers of scar tissue to access the underlying muscles. The dermatologist gently peeled away the dead skin cells during the chemical peel procedure. The surgeon peeled away the layers of skin to expose the underlying muscles. Tear apart. To rip or separate forcefully, often referring to tissues or structures. Synonym for tear apart. Rip apart, shred, rend, pull apart, sever, dissect. The trauma caused by the accident tore apart the ligaments in the athlete's knee. The disease gradually tore apart the delicate tissues of the lungs, leading to respiratory failure. The injury tore apart the ligaments in his knee. Level up your English. Master vocabulary, idioms, and phrasal verbs with fun quizzes. Translate meanings into 104 languages. Download now. Link in the description. Please like and subscribe to our channel.